Hey guys, and welcome to day 2 of 5 days of SRK. So today we're gonna talk about the top 5 SRK scenes that are sure to make you cry. Now my problem is that whenever I watch SRK crying on screen, I start crying. That could be any scene. But I'm assuming not everyone is like that. So I've picked out 5 scenes that I think are super emotional and have to make you cry, or at least get you a bit emotional. I cry in every film. It's very easy to make me cry. But I feel like Shahrukh Khan is one such actor who does crying really well. Not a lot of actors cry on screen. So I feel like he's one such actor who cries on screen. Not a lot of actors cry, like obviously on screen. I've noticed many actors sort of, turn away or hide somewhere. He cries with tears and sobs, and I think it's not cringy, which is very surprising, but he does it really well. So I've picked up 5 scenes that have made me sob hysterically. These are in no particular order apart from the last one, which is number 1. So the other 4 can be in any order. I don't really know which order you can pick, but I will try to go from least emotion to most emotion. But I mean, if one makes you more emotional than the other, each to their own. Firstly, DDLJ. I picked this firstly because there's a huge monologue where SRK gives this entire speech, and Kajol is crying, everyone's crying, SRK is crying, and he's just been slapped like thrice, or I don't even know how many times, and he's hurt. And he's basically, telling Kajol that entire speech in the house right before he leaves. So that always made me a bit emotional, but what tipped it over the edge for me every single time was when he got beat up. I cannot see Shahrukh Khan getting beat up. Like, it hurts my heart. It hurts my soul. And that scene used to kill me, that fight scene. And then finally when, they beat up his dad, and then he used to get up like, ah! And, he used to, like, push everyone away. I loved it. But then finally when he got on the train and he's crying, so I used to cry. So the entire, like, last, the scenes leading up to the final climax and then the final scene always made me emotional. Might not make you sob, but it has to make you emotional, I think. Next one is Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, which is again Shahrukh Kajol, and it's the scene where, okay, firstly the final marriage scene where he's just sobbing the entire time, which, if you think about it, imagine your best friend from college coming to your wedding and just sobbing like like, dude, calm down. But obviously when he cried, I cried, but not that scene. The scene that gets me really emotional is when she's leaving. I used to cry like anything when she's leaving the summer camp, because when the senior Anjali was leaving the summer camp, because junior Anjali used to cry, and then if junior Anjali cried, I used to cry, and then Shahrukh Khan was also, crying-ish, and then he is giving her the red dupatta, and he says like the most petty thing in the world, which cannot be a mistake. I refuse to believe that it's a mistake. Rahul is the most petty person in the world. He goes, ये तुमने टीना को दिया था जब वो एक नई जिंदगी शुरू करने जा रही थी, blah blah blah, और ये मैं अब तुम्हें दे रहा हूँ. And then he goes, I hope तुम और राहुल बहुत खुश रहोगे. And she goes, Aman. And it's so petty. Like, obviously he did that on purpose. But anyway, that scene, that entire sequence where she's walking away, Shahrukh Khan's crying, his daughter's crying, that even the kid is crying. He goes, "Tusi ja rahe ho, tusi na jao." Except for Aman. Aman is oblivious to the world. All Aman cares about is that he's leaving and he's going to get married. He doesn't care कि सब क्यों रो रहे हैं. Why is Anjali crying? Why is Anjali sobbing hysterically? Background में गाना क्यों बज रहा है? तुझे याद ना मेरी आई. Aman does not give a shit. But anyway, that entire sequence always made me emotional as a kid, and I used to cry a lot. I was very happy when Rahul and Anjali got together. Even though now that I'm older and much wiser, I have a different opinion on how the movie should have ended, but that's a conversation for a different video. Next is My Name is Khan. This one was obviously, the entire movie was emotional, especially when Kajol's son dies and then Kajol cries. That scene always makes me sob. But since we're talking about Shahrukh Khan specifically, the scenes that made me cry was firstly when she shouts at him. That entire fight that she has, that with him, that go tell the president se baat karke aao, and the way she was shouting, and he was like so like Mandira, don't do this, and he was so cute and adorable, and I just wanted to give him a hug, and I felt so bad for him, and Mandira just kept shouting at him like, get lost. And I get she was hurt, obviously emotional, I get it, but like it was really sad. It makes me really, really sad. And also when he was alone and on the road asking for a ride, and that he'll clean whatever cars, and he'll do whatever work for you just for a bit of money or whatever, when he was basically traveling his entire journey, I felt really, really bad for him. Like my heart hurts every time I watch that. And that movie, the entire movie makes me emotional, so I feel like I had to include it in this. The fourth one is Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham. This movie, I think, has the most Shahrukh Khan crying scenes ever. Shahrukh Khan has sobbed through the entirety of the film, from the beginning to the end. It starts off with his younger version crying because he finds out that he's adopted, and it continues to him wanting to marry Kajol and being told that he can't. He cries. Then he actually does marry Kajol and he's kicked out and he cries for an hour. Then he meets Hrithik Roshan. When he meets Hrithik Roshan, he gets emotional. Then he realizes Hrithik Roshan is his brother. He cries again. Then he comes, and then when he sees his mom, he cries again. Then when he realizes his parents are in London, he cries again. Then when he finally meets his dad, he cries again. So he cried a lot in the film. But the one scene that always gets to me is when he's leaving the house. It's so emotional, and he sobbed and Jaya Bachchan sobbed, and they both just hug and cry, and it just makes me so sad. Like imagining a kid who's being kicked out by his own dad, and his own dad has said that you've like tarnished our reputation or whatever, and you've married someone who I didn't approve of, so just get out. And he's having to leave even though he doesn't want to. He loves his family, he loves his parents so much, and he's being kicked out and reminded that he was adopted. And then he's just sobbing, and everyone's just crying, and it makes me really, really sad. That scene, I used to sob. I don't sob anymore. Actually, I don't really watch K3G anymore, because it's the same issue with Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. I watched it so much as a kid that I just can't watch them anymore. Like I think everyone has a limit to how many times they can watch films, and I've crossed that for both of them. So I can't watch them anymore. The K3G scene always makes me emotional. And last, but certainly not the least, this is the one film that I think made everyone cry. If you haven't cried in this film, you need help, because it is the most emotional film I have ever freaking watched. I sobbed buckets and buckets of tears watching. I'm getting emotional just thinking about the film, okay? I watched it the one time in the theater, and then I watched it once after that. But I cannot get myself to watch the film. Even the first half, I'm talking about Kal Ho Na Ho, by the way. Even the first half, I can't watch it, because when I'm watching the first half, and Aman is honestly one of my all-time favorite Shahrukh Khan characters, and you fall in love with him instantly. And it's not fair that you fall in love with him just for him to die. Okay, so I don't really watch that film. And obviously the scene that made me cry the most, one was the bridge scene, but the other scene that obviously I sobbed in was where everyone comes to meet him and they're all standing around his bed, and the little girl is crying, and he's trying to cheer her up, and he looks so ill, and he's like literally about to just leave. And yeah, that is just, it's so painful to watch. Firstly, watching Shahrukh Khan die at such a tender age is not fair, okay? I read somewhere that when they made Kal Ho Na Ho, they made an alternate ending for his kids where Aman just flies away. I don't know if this is true or not, but I read it somewhere that they made an alternate ending where Aman's character just flies away so they don't have to watch him die. Which honestly would have made a lot of sense for a lot of his fans who were that age, like me. I was very young, and watching him die like that in theaters, it was traumatizing. It was absolutely traumatizing, and I don't want to watch it over and over. But yeah, that one broke me, like, broke my heart, and then trampled on it, and then put it back, and then took it out again, and trampled on it again, and yeah, it really hurts my heart. So these are the top 5, and I also want to give a special mention to Bazigar because even though he was half evil, I understood why he was taking revenge, and his death at the end makes me sad. It does get me emotional. I didn't want him to die because I got why he was doing what he was doing, and it does make me sad. So yeah, special mention to that, but it doesn't make me sob, so it didn't make the list. Let me know in the comments below which Shahrukh Khan movies make you cry. I want to know. Maybe it's, some random one. Oh, I completely forgot Swades. That also gets me tears in my eyes, especially the scene where he gets the glass from the little boy and he gets emotional. That makes me emotional. But again, it doesn't make me sob, so it didn't make the list, but special mention. Again, to Swades. I can't think of any other movie where I cried. I mean, I've cried in a lot of movies, but one, where I sobbed. Yeah. Let me know. So this is day 2 of 5 days of SRK. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, or if you're a Shahrukh Khan fan, subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comments below which scenes make you cry and what other videos you'd like to see. And yeah, stay tuned for the next 3 days. Bye! They'll... Okay, one sec. This is hurting the hell out of me. Oof.